Allen, a violent vertical ledge setter.
I see some gas on the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. It works the best.
Well, hello, everybody. Look at us. We are back. Hold on. I got to lower this thing. This is GreenBean. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest, everybody. We just finished 2 solid hours of Jets talk over on the Jets Talk 24/7 Talking Jets panel with Ryan and O'Leary. And we're back today. We have some big news that we didn't get into in the last stream. I can't wait to get into it with you. We have some stories on deck. It's going to be a good one. But I want to know, how the hell is everybody? How you guys doing? What's cooking? What are you guys up to? Everything good? That's good. Thanks for answering. I appreciate it. Let me just clear this up. So, did you guys know that the New York Jets, as of just a few minutes ago, or maybe hours ago, or maybe days, we cut James Morgan? Did you guys hear that? We cut James Morgan. Amazing. We just signed him back. Everybody got nervous. They thought that meant, the stuff we talk about, right? It meant that they didn't like Josh Johnson anymore. They were going to cut Josh Johnson. Somebody even told me they have a feeling this means they're going to cut Mike White. And I told them, I said, more than likely, it's a COVID thing, and he's a quarterback that knows the system. I said, I don't see anybody getting cut unless it's James Morgan when they come back. And that's what happened. So that's good news, right? We brought Morgan in, and it was just an insurance while the COVID stuff was going on with Flacco and Mike White, and we just brought him in. And now he's gone because why? We brought in, Nalty. We brought him in. We brought in Daniel Brown, and we touched on it in the last stream, but we'll get into a little bit tonight as well. Daniel Brown. So essentially what Joe Douglas did was he said, hey, I'll trade you Daniel Brown for LDT and Daniel Brown. How's that sound? And they said, sure. We'll give you Lawrence Duvernay-Tardif for Daniel Brown, and Daniel Brown for Daniel Brown. Wouldn't that be cool? So they did that. But let me say hello to you guys. I see Big Green's in here. I don't feel like I haven't seen you in a minute, Big Green. It's good to see you. I'm happy you're here, buddy. Salty Nuts made it in here first. He's very consistent. John, you're quick. You're an early rise. You're an early bird special, as we call it. So thank you. Eminon's here. Pluck the Eagles indeed, Eminon. I'm with it. Hold on. David Gerard is here. He's got some stories. Just get him on deck, Dave. And we'll get moving into that in just a few minutes. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear it. He's got some stories for us. Mark R is here. What's up with you? Bismo Charismo from the Land Down Under is here. It's good to see you, Bismo. I saw you checked in the last stream as well. Hank G is here. What's up, Hank? 1189. Paris is back. It's good to have you here. Jets Blues. Right on, man. As I said, Big Green. Jets 830. Right on, man. Kamal Agilero. Yeah, you guys are the best. Jeremy Cravat's back. There he is. And I'll tell you, Jeremy, as you know, helps me out from time to time. He hangs out in the back of the Thursday thick of it, just helping me make sure things run well. And he also does New York Jets Worldwide on Saturday mornings. He has a brand new channel. And I forget what it's called. New York Jeremy Sports something, right? Big boy. I forget what it is, Jeremy. But by all means, write it in there and forgive me. It's new. I'm 100% in support of it, but I don't remember what it is. But anyway, give him your support, guys. He's one of us. He's been here since the beginning. He supports everybody. He's Jeremy from Sacramento on the Just Jets podcast with Matt O'Leary. He's been trying to get into this thing for a long time. He supports everybody. He's a good dude. Give Jeremy your support if you got it in you. So Mark says, congrats, Teen Bean. Get it, bro. And that's in reference to my son. Many of you guys know, but if you don't, my son, we stayed in Virginia for a little while for 3 months to make sure that my son could play organized youth football for the first time. He played flag for a bunch of years, but he never played tackle before. So we stayed in Virginia, played with a very, very good program in Albemarle County, and they won the championship, man. He was a starting cornerback in his first year on a championship team. So I could not be more proud of my boy, Teen Bean, Metal Kid, as he's known in YouTube circles. But yeah, that's really cool. And thank you guys for the support on that. It's really cool. Liam Riordan, Robert Killian, follower of Christ, FOC, we call him. Aunt Jets is here. Lawrence Rapples or Wapples. Craig Sofolis, what's up, man? Horatio Hornblower, good evening to you, sir. And Mr. Magix and a bunch of others, right? Mark's here. Yeah. So hello to everybody. So David Gerard has some stories on Quentin Nelson. So he went to school, if I remember correctly, David, he said he went to school with Quentin Nelson, Anthony Ferkser, Minka Fitzpatrick. He played football. So first thing, Dave, I'm curious what position you played. Give us your body size and tell us what we got here. And then please let us know in the story. I'll start talking about something and I'll scan the chat for your story. And guys, I want to remind you a couple things. Don't forget to hit the like button here. It's important, man. It helps the algorithm. It helps the channel do well. And in addition to that, we have the contest going on right now. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subs for the first year on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube 1 year as of December 27th. So I got 27 days to get about 600 more subs. We were cooking for a minute there. But if you haven't subbed to the channel, it would be great. All you got to do to enter the contest is hit that subscribe button here. Hit the subscribe button on Full-Time Coaster Tour on YouTube, which is my other channel. You do that and you're in the contest. You can win some t-shirts from the GreenBeanjetsfan.com merch store. And you can win a Manscaped Ultra Smooth package as well. And it's greatly appreciated, man. I appreciate it. It's so cool to have you guys in my life, man. It's amazing to me. I talk to you guys about Jets all day and as like now all friggin' night. So we do it. And thank you guys for the congrats. I appreciate it. So like I said, so we cut James Morgan and that leaves our roster with obviously Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White, and Josh Johnson. And I want to remind everybody what's really going on here. So we have a situation where we have this young kid. And you know, I say that often, but a lot of times I'll pull it back because I don't mean kid, they're men. Zach Wilson, dude, that's a kid. This is a little cutie pie, isn't he? He looks like he's 16 years old. So he's youth. Without question. So we've got this young boy. He's a man, but he just looks like the cute little cutie pie. So we got this young kid here, and he's coming into the New York market, and he's going to play quarterback for the New York Jets with arguably the most intense fans in the league. And we have the worst media in the NFL. It's not New York media is tough. New York media is grimy. Like that's what they are. They're slimy and they're petty and they do all that sort of stuff. So they're very difficult to deal with. So Zach Wilson comes here and he's got to run this with a new head coach and the main offensive mind in Greg Knapp passes away and he gets injured and Mike White and Joe Flacco, and he comes back and he has a rough game. The first quarter and a half, dude, there's no other way to say it. It was a rough game, wasn't it? And so a lot of people jumped ship. They were like, because after seeing Mike White come out and throw for 405, then we see Mike White throw for 95 in the first quarter and a touchdown. He gets hurt and Josh Johnson comes in 317. Then Flacco comes in and he throws for 290. And it's like, okay, well, obviously Zach's going to come in and he's better than all of them. So he's going to throw for 300. He comes in, he throws for nothing. His first 5 yards in the first quarter and a half. And people were like, you know what? He was the problem the whole time. And he sucks. We got nervous, didn't we? Even some of his supporters, like I was mentioning, Jeremy Cravat got nervous. Got real nervous. Said, I don't know, man. I'm worried about my boy here. And then he settles down. He throws for 145 and a touchdown. He runs in a touchdown. So you take out a quarter and a half, and you say he threw for 145. Let's say he throws for 75. So we're looking, if he didn't have that terrible quarter and a half, 75 more yards, 100 more yards. So he's got like 225, 250 if he doesn't take that time to settle in. I'm not as concerned about Zach Wilson. I think he's going to have continuously rough games, but we watched him settle. We watched him score his first half touchdown, right? So there's improvement here. And that's what we got to just continue to have faith. I'm actually feeling better about LaBooth than I was before. So I think we as fans got to make a conscious effort to support this guy, because damn well the media is not doing him any favors. They would rather see him implode and get to talk about how the Jets still suck and nothing's going to change. They would rather that than the story of the Jets being this great thing. Trust me when I tell you, if it bleeds, it leads. They want to write stories about Zach sucking and why and how bad it really is behind closed doors. That's what they want to write. So we as fans got to support this guy. He's got the talent. And he showed it. He showed it in the second half of that game. He was able to settle down. It never lit up the world, but he settled down. So we have to continue to make sure as fans we give him at least 2 years, man, at least 2 full seasons before we turn on him. You know what I mean? Even if you were one of the guys who wanted Fields or wanted Lance or wanted to keep Sam or wanted to trade back and take Trask or Jones, it doesn't matter. We need to support this guy. That's what I'm doing. You guys know I wasn't a Zach Wilson guy. I was fine with the pick, but I was definitely not take Zach Wilson at all costs. That was not me. I was just as happy with Fields. I really wanted a trade back, like get those 3 firsts and take Mac Jones or Kyle Trask. That was me. That was my number one option. But we took him, and I'm happy that we took him, and I support him. So anyway, let's see. We'll talk about, I want to hear your thoughts on Zach Wilson, but first thing I want to make sure we don't leave David Gerard's stories. David Gerard's coming in to tell us some stories. He went to school with Quentin Nelson, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Ferkser. So let's see. He says, in high school, I was about 5'8", 160, but hit like a bull. All I wanted to do was hit. I played with Ferkser in high school, played with Minkah in travel football, and played with Q in high school. Ooh, where was that? Where were you in high school, buddy? So let's see what else he's got. He says, many stories along with all that, though. Yeah, so tell us the number one story. Where is he? I want to make sure. I want to hear this stuff. This is interesting to me. So make sure, tell us the good stuff. And you don't have to throw anybody under the bus, but anything that would be interesting. You know what we'd be interested in, David. So we got a super chat. Yes, and as you know, I do my best to scan and read the comments. I like to get to as many as we can, but I also talk a lot. So it's hard. By the time I'm finished with what I'm saying, I look and 50 comments came through. So if you really want to make sure that your comment gets through or questions, super chat is available. And I definitely appreciate that as well. It helps me out a great deal, man. Don't forget, I'm on the road. I do this. I'm trying to do this thing. You know what I mean? So I don't work. I do this all day. I edit fucking videos and everything else. So anyway, let me see. I saw V-Man, I think it was. Where's V-Man? V-Man, thank you, buddy. I do appreciate it, as you know. He says, hey, GreenBean, isn't it great to be on the other side of the punching bag enjoying the schadenfreude of the Hawks fans is great. Their shade attempts fail. Yeah, dude. And let me tell you, V-Man, when we traded Jamal Adams for the pick, when we traded Jamal Adams to the Seahawks, I was driving through Kansas, right, on my way to the West Coast. So I was in Kansas for about a week, and then we did a little bit of Utah, but then I was in literally Seattle about a week, 2 weeks after the trade. So I was in campsites in Washington State, and there was guys with all their Seattle stuff, and I sat and talked to a few of them, and I asked them what they thought of the Jamal Adams trade. Now, one guy, I talked to about 4 people. 3 conversations were a little bit in depth, and one was just like a little minute thing. One guy was so passionately for it. He said the Jets are stupid. He's going to go down as one of the greatest safeties of all time. And the 2 draft picks that we get, obviously, we don't even know who they are. They could be flops, they could be busts, but Jamal Adams is a proven commodity, and the Jets are going to rue the day. Passionate. He said, the Jets are so stupid. Jamal Adams, he already had a Jamal Adams jersey, he said. He wasn't wearing it or anything, but he said he had it. And so anyway, he was on board. One guy, a little bit older, maybe in his late 40s, 50s, said he hated it. He said that Seattle just brought on a potential problem. He doesn't like Jamal Adams as, like, you know, the hype machine that he is, thinks he talks too much. And he said he's a good player. This is what he said. He said that what concerns me about Jamal Adams is he talks more than he contributes. Isn't that interesting? He said he seems to talk more than he does, than he walks, right? And so that was interesting. I had a nice conversation with him. And he actually asked me questions. He said, what do you think? Like, honestly, fan shit aside, I want to know what I'm getting with this guy. And I told him the truth. I said, well, a lot of Jets fans love Jamal Adams. I like Jamal Adams. But I said, I never saw the impact. The one game that he really impacted was that Giants game. Remember? He had like 2 sacks, and he had the strip, you know, the fumble, you know, he stripped Daniel Jones and ran the end zone. That was about the best game he ever had. But don't forget, that year he had 6.5 sacks. 5 of them were in 2 games against the Giants, and then he had 3 against the Redskins, the football team, right? But they were the Redskins at the time with Dwayne Haskins as the quarterback. So he abused 2 terrible teams, got 5 sacks, and then only got another 1.5 sacks the rest of the year. And he was talking like he was the sack leader of all time and all that kind of stuff. So I told the guy, I said, look, he's a hard player. He's a good football player. But I don't think I said, honestly, I'm very happy with the trade. 2 firsts alone without the third and everything. It's like, I think it's too much. I think they paid way too much. And one guy was just like, we'll see. But isn't that interesting, V-Man? So one guy was that shade you're talking about. He was like, oh, you guys are going to fucking regret this, man, blah, blah, blah. So it's nice to be on this side. Listen, since Joe Douglas has been here, you can say what you want about any other facet. The one place that you would be an absolute moron not to feel great about is his trades. He has not gotten the shit end of a deal on a one single trade. The only potential was when Leonard Williams had those, he had 13 sacks last year, something like that. He had a very good year. But then they paid him $21 million a year, and he's back to being average. $21 million. $55 million guaranteed. Good for Leo. But the GM's going to get fired, and that's one of the moves. So Joe Douglas getting 2 draft picks for Leo. It's like, dude, I don't know. I mean, that's the only one. Every other trade are lopsided in our favor. So I don't know, man. Joe Douglas is a mastermind with the trades. You can say anything you want. I'll give anybody anything. You know how I feel. I'm a Joe Douglas supporter. I see significantly more pluses than negatives. But the trades, shit. Right, V man? So, yeah, so 1189 Paris talking about Zach says he'll give him 3 seasons. He's only 21. Right. He's like, and like I said, how someone looks it doesn't mean shit, but it does a little. It's like you look at him, you're like, my wife saw him and said, that's the quarterback you picked? Oh my God, he looks like a baby. I'm like, yeah, that's our guy. That's our leader of our Warriors. You know what I mean? Yeah. And John Nolte, Salty Nuts Magoo says, the game has to slow down for Zach. Until it does, I will be happy if he cuts down on the interceptions and doesn't fumble like Sam did. I'm still confident in this kid's tools will shine. Very well said. And I think last week that interception was weird, right? Like, can we just chalk that down to them not being on the same page. Like, he hasn't played with them for 4 weeks. And in the meantime, Ty Johnson played with 3 other quarterbacks. So if you go Zach, White, Johnson, White, Flacco, Zach, like look at all that change. So they're not on the same page. Zach was clearly going to throw him it's like he just turned to block for him. So it's one of those things. And the fact that ended up an interception off his back, that's craziness. I don't really put that on Zach too much. It's just one of those things. But it made sense to do that. It wasn't it wasn't like the Patriots game. He's just throwing it to the other team. But I think, right, if he can get down on the turnovers and just play smart, like Salah said, boring football, I feel really good. And Paris says, yeah, he has a tremendous arm. You can't teach that. Like, that's the good news. The stuff that he's struggling on, in truth, any quarterback can do it, which is why I like that we brought his quarterback coach on. I like it. FOC checks in and says, once Zach develops a changeup, he'll be fine. He puts too much mustard on a lot of the shorter passes, which I think may be contributing to some of his gaffes, focusing on power instead of accuracy. And then the interesting thing, FOC, is on the other side of that, then he'll try to put too much touch on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he tries to like be too much, and it goes errant. It's like he can't find that just comfortable, easy pass, like a pass that you and I can make. Like when I'm playing with my son, we run to the side and I throw it off. He's 4 yards in front of me. I just hit him. But Zach can't seem to do that right now. It's like he's overthinking it all. Horatio, yeah, and I was talking about this in this week's podcast. Said the fact that he had 15 sacks in the first 3 games, 15 sacks. And don't forget, just because they weren't sacks doesn't mean that he wasn't pressured. He had more pressure than any quarterback in the NFL his first 3 weeks. That absolutely is still in his head. He was getting crushed. His knees have been dove at. He's been smashed, like all the weight on him. He's had his helmet ripped off. Dude, he's getting abused out there. So he's definitely he's thinking. Like, look at that play to Griffin. People are saying Griffin should have caught it, and I agree. But the pass wasn't a good pass. And it was a hard pass. It was short, right? So Griffin still should have caught it, but it was a hard catch, right? So all that. But the truth is, Zach Wilson never had to leave the pocket. The pocket was developing perfectly. It just started, and he bailed. And it didn't look like the line was on board with that because Fant was pushing his guy. He was still pushing his guy down the line to make the pocket. So when Zach bailed after 1 second, he went bump and took off. That's what was happening with Sam. That's the PTSD shit. You know what I mean? And so we gotta protect this guy, man. So the good news, Horatio, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think absolutely. That doesn't discount the media though, too, what they're trying to do. But I agree. You're right. So, but here's the other thing with that. Zach Wilson in his first 3 games had 15 sacks and just myriad pressures and hurries and everything else and hits. In the last 4 games, he's had 8. So they're down significantly. That's about 2 a game. And look, 2 of those sacks were Zach running out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. So really 6. You see what I'm saying? See what I do? I'll find the good news. You give me a second. I'll find the good news. But so anyway, I think that's really important. Like, the line is getting better. And most of those pressures, in all seriousness, were GVR, dude. When you go back and get Game Pass if you don't have it on NFL.com, and just go back and watch those games and key on GVR. I've watched entire games, the offense, only watching Greg Van Roten. I've done that more than once this year. I've just watched GVR every single play. The guy was out of control bad. He had a couple games where he was average, but that was the best he got. And it's a shame because I want Greg Van Roten to succeed because he's a Jets fan, right? It's like us. I want GVR to succeed. But sometimes it's just not right. It's just not, you just can't do it. It's like, I want to be a rock star. And I can play guitar and I can sing and I'm a good songwriter, but I'm not good enough. I got to swallow that. You know what I mean? It's just not what I am. So I think that's what it is. But if you ever go back and watch those tapes, just key on GVR, you're going to go, holy shit, man. It's almost every play GVR's guy is at minimum pressuring the quarterback. At minimum. It's crazy. V-Man says ABT's a stud. Yep. And Big Green says JD hasn't lost a trade yet. I agree. Friggle D, that would be nice, wouldn't it? A lot. Like, look, we can't get nuts. We can't get nuts. But you know what I liked about Elijah Riley? Let me make sure I'm talking about the right guy. Hold on here. I want to look. I know who you're talking about, but I want to make sure it's the guy I'm talking about. Let me just make sure here. I want to look at the roster. Let me see here. Elijah Riley. Elijah. Let me see. Where is he? Come on. I'm doing alphabetical. Why can't I find him? Yep, that's him. Elijah Riley is number 33, right? Not only is he making plays, but if you watch his interaction with the players, he's jumping on their backs. He's high-fiving. He's running around. Yeah. Like he's really bringing that, which is surprising for a guy who hasn't been with us. Like, you know what I mean? He hasn't been on the field. It's like he's the kind of guy that if you're like, he might really be taking this opportunity seriously. Like he's not getting swallowed by it. Like, oh my God, I got to be good. I got to be great. This is my one big chance. Like he looks like he's having an absolute blast. And he's like, nope, I'm making the best of this. Like if you look at like his I was taken with him on numerous occasions. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Look at the way he's jumping around. Look at him diving into the tackle. Look at him throwing his body in there. So I don't want to get nuts, Friggle D, with Elijah Riley. But I think we might have found something. Now, is he going to be a starter? And I don't know. It's like, but look, at one time, Victor Green was an undrafted free agent, fringe roster bubble guy. I remember they were writing articles about the family life that he had, and it would be a great story if Victor Green made it in the Post and all that stuff. I never thought in a million years Victor Green was going to be our starting safety. Never. 2 years later, not only is he our starting safety, but he's good, really good. And Jets fans, he's one of our favorite players on the whole team. So, dude, it happens. Look at Robbie Anderson. Look at Snacks Harrison. Look at Bryce Huff. Like, it happens. Guys come from nowhere, man. Just because he's not a first-round pick or nobody was writing articles about him from college, it doesn't mean, dude, they can make it. So he sees an opportunity. He's grabbing it. And he looks to me like he's making the best of it. Who knows what we have, but that might be a good one, man. So I see another super chat here. Let's see what we got. Salty Nuts chimes in. Thank you, John. I appreciate this. He says, what's more important, trying to win by starting Flacco or White or developing Zach at a lesser chance of success right now? Well, I think you know where I am on that one. I am absolutely unequivocally believing that starting Zach, and for that matter, starting Pinnock, starting Nasruddin, putting Yeboah on the field. I'm in favor of all these guys getting their time, making their mistakes, absorbing and employing this system now. Take your lumps, learn in the school of hard knocks now. Get it done. Get it in. Now, the downside with a guy like Zach is like we were just talking about a few minutes ago. He's the kind of guy that if it's rough, it can be PTSD because he's getting walloped. The entire defense is trying to kill him. You know what I mean? And if they're getting to him while he learns, it could negatively affect him. And I think we're seeing some of that. Honestly, I do. And we definitely saw it with Sam. Sam was a different quarterback, man. Now, he had a lot of the same stuff, like the back foot shit and all that, but Sam worked on his turnovers, did a great job. Sam worked on some of his mechanisms and his processes, and he was making progress from year 1 to year 2. It was happening. He kept getting walloped, kept getting hit, kept getting battered, beaten, and he started having happy feet. He started jumping, leaving the pocket early, consistently, and we're starting to see that a little bit with Zach. But all that aside, I think putting Zach Wilson in there, grow with your team, grow with Elijah Moore, grow with Michael Carter and AVT, and even the guys like Corey Davis, who's going to be here a while, Denzel Mims, dude, they're going to be here. I think we re-signed Berrios. You know what I mean? So I say take the lumps. That's what I say. Like, chances are we're not going anywhere this year. We have 3 wins in week 11. You know what I mean? 3. Now, if we won out, yeah, there's a chance. But realistically, like, would you rather make the playoffs with Joe Flacco and have Zach? I don't know. I think play Zach. That's what I think. This year was always going to be this. Let Zach develop. Let him get his time. And that, John, let me tell you this. And I even come from an old school mentality that quarterbacks should sit for a year no matter what. I do prefer that. But in today's game with the 4-year and 5th-year option rookie contracts, we all know this. We've heard it 1,000 times. The chances of building your team and winning while the quarterback's on their first 5 years, their rookie contract, it's increased. It's much better chance. So get it done. Get it in. Develop him. Look, they brought in, think about this. Greg Knapp passed away. They brought in Matt Cavanaugh. They finally put LaFleur in the booth, and they brought in Zach's own quarterback coach. Then they brought in another vet. And I'd like to remind people all the time, we've had a vet quarterback here the entire season. People just don't want to acknowledge it. It's a weird thing. Josh Johnson has been here all year. So we've had the vet quarterback, but they brought in another one. So they brought in Joe. Now he has Joe Flacco, Josh Johnson, and Mike White for that matter. He has Rob Calabrese. He has Matt Cavanaugh. He has Michael LaFleur, and he has John Beck. John Beck and Calabrese did a whole job as Zach Wilson and the other quarterbacks, obviously, but Zach Wilson. So we have all this infrastructure. Take care of the boy. Let him play like every single snap. Sit down, tell him what he did wrong. Look at it, and just go through that. I'm a firm believer that we're already in this thing. Benching him now while he's healthy, I don't think it's going to serve him. I say take your lumps. Take your lumps. What's up, Gitmo Bob? He says, oh no, B-Trav's talking to Gitmo Bob. He says, I agree, but I think he's all right. So you guys are talking. Sorry, I don't know the first half of that one. Let's see what else we got. I know we have a whole bunch of Elizas, right? Right, Adam? What's the new Salah story, Edward? All right, let me look for David. Hold on. I might have skipped David's stories. I'm going to look for David. Where are you, David? Okay, all right, I see it. All right, hold on. Wait, where'd it go? Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. I'm looking. All right. Okay. Where is it? David Gerard. Okay. Best story, GreenBean. When I played Quentin Nelson in high school, I was at Manalapan. We saw a video of him putting his head through a metal folding chair before the game started. And we were mortified. Yeah, imagine that. So you see the guys, like you're coming from Manalapan High School and you're playing the other school. And then you see this guy clearly bigger, clearly on a cut above, and he's putting his head through metal chairs before the game started. You were mortified. That's funny. You guys were freaked out. You're like, ugh. You were 5'8". At least you weren't playing against him on the line. I bet he was dominant in high school. And I don't know. I never kept track of him in high school or anything. But that's funny. Let's see. He goes, and when I played with Minkah Fitzpatrick in travel, he didn't even start. Me and Minkah were backups, but his dad is a trainer and trained me and Minkah. Eventually, Minkah took off, or Mink took off. Ooh, I like that. And now I'm here. Yeah, his dad might have leaned a little bit. He might have favored Mink a little bit more, huh? You think? So that's interesting. So Mink, see that? They gave him the time to learn and sit. Didn't throw him out there as a kid before he knew what to do. But that's one thing. If you have your dad as a trainer, that could be of great benefit. He knows exactly what to do. That's interesting, man. That's funny. Let me see if there's any more. This is great, David. Thank you. Let me see. Oh, there's so many comments. It's crazy. I'm so behind. I'm going to try to catch up. All right, let me see what Mason DiGiacopo says. Do you think JD's first draft would have looked way different if Salah was the coach? I think so. The picks, at least the guys for offense, really seem to look like Gase types of play. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think the Mims pick, well, I don't know, because this regime really likes the quicker, a little bit shorter, kind of slot-esque types of guys. You know what I mean? They prefer that type. So I think so. Yeah. Maybe that they took a little earlier. Well, Ayuk was gone. Rieger was gone. I forget who might have been there. I think they might have still taken Mims. But yeah, I think the James Morgan pick was a Gase pick. I don't know about so much Clark. I think it definitely would have affected the picks. Don't forget, too, we had defense. So Greg Williams was the defensive head coach. Remember this shit that we had? Adam Gase wanted nothing to do with the defense, but he did want a lot to do with picking the players. Don't forget, when Adam Gase was our GM for a few weeks, he literally traded someone in the first 2 hours that he was a GM. What does that tell you? Number one, he wanted to stick it in Mike Mckagan's craw. He traded one of his first-round picks, Darren Lee, for a sixth. So there's that. But also, he was letting you know, I want the roster to look this way. So absolutely, don't forget what Phil Savage said. You know, Phil Savage is a senior assistant, a personnel assistant for Joe Douglas, and he's been a general manager in the NFL, and he's been a senior player personnel kind of guy and vice president, all those things. He ran the Senior Bowl for a number of years. So Phil Savage is on our staff, and they interviewed him for the show that we had, Flight 2021, it was called. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. It's 3 episodes on YouTube. You can watch it. Flight 2021. When Phil Savage said, they were interviewing him, and he said, he was talking about their process, and he said, we had to get to know an entirely new coaching staff, entirely new systems, because we're drafting for this group, for this staff now, when last year we were drafting for a different staff. So that alone tells you, I mean, Phil Savage is giving you the goods. He's saying, like, yeah, man, like, our process is we have to get to know what these guys are trying to accomplish. What do they want? What do they need? It makes no sense to give them a bunch of players that they don't know how to or don't want to use. Like, I don't run a 3-4. Why are you getting me outside linebackers? Why are you doing that? I don't need those guys. I need 280-pound defensive ends. That's what I need. And you gave me 238-pound outside linebackers. Why? You know what I'm saying? And on and on and on. It goes on and on. So I think that absolutely there would have definitely been an impact. Like, look at the 2 drafts. They're very different. They're very different drafts. Now, that said, I liked a lot of the players that we drafted. Again, I don't know what's happening with P-Perine, but I think it's dumb. The fact that we haven't even seen him on the field is dumb. You can say whatever clearly he's not good enough. Bullshit. Bullshit. The guy was effective in college. He was effective his rookie year. And in preseason, he was making a case to be the starting running back. People were literally calling me saying, man, I might have had P-Perine wrong. He looks great. And then he got hurt the last week of preseason. And that was the end of that. We haven't seen him since. We saw he's run 1 time. So what is that? I don't know. What's the deal with Mims? Why are they making Mims learn a bunch of shit? So there's a lot of questions I have about that. Now, but that all aside, like I still like those players. I like Jabari Zuniga. I don't think he's going to be, Bruce Smith, but I think he's absolutely quality and part of a successful rotation. What are they doing with him? I don't know. The first game, he came in, they put him in, he got a sack and forced fumble. And then he's had like, I think it was like 20% of the snaps, 25%. All right. And he's got a handful of tackles since. But now he's back on the practice squad. Like, I don't know what the hell. Because you know why? Because Ronald Blair came. So they put Zuniga back. Now, why do they do that? Because he's the fucking one. He's one of 3 guys that Salah took with him. And he didn't even take them with him. They were guys laying out there for a long time. That's one of the things that concerned me about Salah. Like, nobody came with him. Like, coaches like to do that. Remember, Rex came and he brought over Bart Scott, Jim Leonard, and who else? Trevor Price. Right? There might have been another one. I forget. But Bart Scott and Jim Leonard. Like, that's so he had the guys in the middle of the defense that knew his defense inside and out. And we don't have that. So Robert Salah has one guy on the defense. His name is Ronald Blair. So when Ronald Blair is healthy, somebody's getting pushed aside because he's the one guy that Salah feels comfortable with on the whole damn team. Same thing with Austin Walter. Like, if you think Austin Walter, he got 38 yards on 9 carries, which is a 7-yard average and a touchdown, which is great. But he didn't do anything that made me think, damn. He hit the hole nice. There was a huge hole on that one long, like a 12-yard run. It's a great hole. Now, I'm not upset or anything like that, but if you're going to tell me that this guy is showing so much that P-Perine can't get a lick, I don't buy it. So that when you look at the draft, I think that there are a lot of good players. I think that draft class is snake bitten. I don't know what it is. Poor Cam Clark. He was never injured in college. Comes to the Jets. Doesn't play anything his rookie year because of injury. And then he comes in my opinion, he was probably going to be the starting guard. They wanted to give him every opportunity to win the job. And he gets a spinal injury in training camp before even the preseason. His career may be over. You know what I mean? I don't know. That would technically be a bust. But what is it? I don't know what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, I love Denzel Mims. I love Becton. I love those first 2 picks. I like Jabari Zuniga. I like P-Perine. I like Braden Mann. I loved Bryce Hall. Loved him. Ashton Davis, I hated that pick. I hated it. But I still have a lot of hope for him. So I don't know. I think there was a lot to do with the original staff. So it would be different. But that said, I still have a lot of hope for the class. You know what I mean? I have a lot of hope for this coming class. I'll tell you that. Oh, this is an important one, everybody. All right, let me catch up here. Holy shit. Let me see. Here. I'm way behind. Oh, my God. Steven checks. Hey, what's up, man? This is Sack Exchange from Twitter, Mr. Santa Claus. If you guys don't know, BKLYN on Twitter. Absolutely worth a follow. He does all kinds of contests. You'll win free Jet stuff. Great stuff. Whether it's hats, signed rookie cards, jersey, all kinds of cool stuff, man. He's the best. And he's legit, man. And he knows his shit with pizza. So that's important too. He says, hey, brother, just wanted to say hello. Love the show and send all my love to the folks watching right now. There you go. Well, thank you, Sack Exchange. We appreciate it, man. Yeah, he's the real deal. Go and give him a follow on Twitter. You won't regret it. He does contests every single day. All you got to do is guess a number. And he even pays for the shipping. Are you still paying for shipping, Steve? I don't even know. But he was for a while. But either way, man, it's great. Anybody there's 100 people that can vouch for what he's doing. And I love it. So it's good to see you, man. Thank you. We got another super chat from Adam S. Thank you, sir. He says, I loved seeing Zach beat cover 0 on the play to Berrios, right? A quarterback that can beat the blitz can be a damn good NFL quarterback. He is learning by playing, I believe. Yeah. And look, there's definitely an argument to be made that Zach should sit. But the thing is that I think we got the best of both worlds. He started, got to real world experience. The Carolina game, he looked fantastic in the second half. So we got to fight through that and everything. And he looked like complete shit for a little while. And then he gets hurt. He started to look good in the Patriots game too. He had a great Titans game. So the peaks and valleys. And then he has a decent Patriots game, gets hurt, and he gets to watch for 4 weeks. Not only does he get to watch for 4 weeks, he watches incredible success by 3 quarterbacks. He gets to see what all kinds of, and look, they're different quarterbacks. Mike White and Flacco are similar. Josh Johnson's a totally different quarterback. So we got to see different types of quarterbacks running this offense. Zach got to do that. In the meantime, we brought on his quarterback coach who can sit there and work with them. And I don't even know how good a quarterback coach John Beck is, but he's a well-respected quarterback coach out there. So, hey, and he's comfortable with Zach. And we said, hey, man, we want you to put your business on hold and just take care of our guy. We probably paid him well. Said, here's $1 million or something. Take care of our most precious asset. So I think he got the time to sit. Now he's going to come in and get the chance to wrap up this season and show progress. And if he does, the season is a success. We already saw Michael Carter. He's a stud. We already saw ABT. He's a stud. We already saw Elijah Moore. He's a stud. We already saw Brandon Eccles. I wouldn't call him a stud, but definitely a quality player to keep around and develop. Michael Carter II, stud. Right? We still have guys like Nasruddin and Sherwood. Unfortunate that we didn't get to continue to see Sherwood. I was really excited about him. You know? Who else? Yeah, Nasruddin, right? And then you had Pinnock and Jonathan Marshall. So we'll see how he goes too. He's on the practice squad. But when we let guys like, we're going to let either Sheldon Rankins, Foley Fadukasi, Nathan Jeff, we're not keeping all these guys. We're definitely letting at least one go, probably 2. So Jonathan Marshall's already here and he's developing. See what I mean? That's why it's good to have guys on your roster that are developing. We got Lamar Jackson developing. We have Pinnock developing. We have Jonathan Marshall developing. We have Isaiah Williams on the offensive line developing. You got Chuma Edoga developing. You know what I mean? Like, so we have these guys. You got the Smith brothers at wide receiver. I don't know how long they'll be around, but they're young guys and they're here developing. If you keep them around, then they know the offense now. Now they can come in and not miss a beat rather than get in this cycle that we've been in for fucking 10 years where guys go down and we're flipping the roster every year. So the guy coming in doesn't even know what he's doing. Doesn't even know the playbook yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's so important to have consistency. When a guy doesn't come out and light it up year one, it doesn't mean they're a bust. It means let's keep this guy here, unless he's a complete shitbag, but let's keep this guy here and develop him. And when it's time to come in year 3, he'll be ready. So that's what it takes. You look at the Steelers, look at the Ravens, look at the Patriots. They always have guys simmering in the background on the practice squad, third string. And when big free agents want to leave and get $20 million a year, they go, see you later. Good luck. Have fun with that. Somebody pays them $20 million. They get the comp pick, and the guy is ready to fill his shoes and does just as good of a job because the system is intact. And everybody on the roster knows the system. See what I'm saying? But you're absolutely right, Adam. Zach Wilson has shown progress. As much as we want? Hell no. It's like Joe Blewett said it last night on Ryan's channel. He said, let's be honest here. If somebody would have told us in the beginning of the season that this is what Zach's first 7 games were going to look like, none of us would have signed on for that shit. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. That said, it doesn't mean he's a bust. Ooh, Braden, Devin Lloyd. Hell yeah. Linebacker 1, dude. That's me. Linebacker 1 in this draft. Linebacker 1. See, I'd rather come out of this draft, like if we're not taking Hamilton, I'd rather come out of the first round with Aiden Hutchinson and Devin Lloyd and take Jarrett Patterson as the center in the second round than I would Aiden Hutchinson, Linderbaum, and then the fourth linebacker. Just me. Although I do like 4 or 5 linebackers, but not like Lloyd and Dean and maybe Christian Harris. They're my favorite linebackers in this draft so far. Yeah, Mason says, and I think Salah would have preferred a guy like Wirfs or Wells. Maybe. But I think last year, one of the things was Becton blew Joe Douglas and his staff away. They fell absolutely in love with him. So maybe not. But I hear you. Wills wasn't an option. It was only Becton or Wirfs for us. Remember, Wills went before us, as did Anthony Johnson. Oh my God, what the hell's wrong with me? You know the guy. The I think it's Anthony Johnson. I'm spacing out. Friggle D says he traded down. Mims was rated higher by most. I really think he wanted Van Jefferson and that he would land in his lap. He had insider info on Van. As a lot of people know, Van Jefferson, a receiver in last year's draft, his father was the wide receivers coach here. So that could be. I think they would have steered clear from Van Jefferson not to have that weird relationship. That's me. But here's what I think, Friggle D. I think that Joe Douglas had a couple guys in a pool at a tier. He probably had Mims, Claypool, Van Jefferson, and said, I'm going to trade down. I'm going to get the extra third and fourth, whatever. I forget what it was. And I'm going to get one of those guys. I'm going to get one of them, and I'm as happy with any of them as I am with the other. That's what I think. That's more sound. Like putting your ducks in one guy and trading back is a fool's errand. You know what I mean? If you only want one guy, then you take him. If you only want one guy and you trade back and go, come on, that's not the way to run things. That's panic. That's weird. I don't see Joe Douglas that way. I think Joe Douglas, not that you're weird. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. You know that. But I think Joe Douglas is more systematic in how he does things. He said, I'm okay with any one of these players. I want a wide receiver. I have 3 still on the board that I'd be ecstatic with getting. I'm going to trade back, I think it was 11 spots, 48 to 59. And one of them are going to very likely to be there. And if not, I like a linebacker at that spot or whatever it is, And he got one. But whether or not Mims was his favorite, that's debatable. I mean, I don't know. I think Claypool might have been Joe Douglas's guy. Joe Douglas likes to pull out the guys that aren't the big, the guy everybody thinks he's going to take. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. I didn't see him. I saw him taking Zach Wilson and Elijah Vera-Tucker. I did not see him taking Elijah Moore with our second. Never saw it coming. I really didn't. I didn't see him taking Michael Carter with his fourth. Didn't see it coming. I didn't see it. I thought he was going a completely different direction. Sherwood? Don't tell me no one had Sherwood mocked to us. No one. That's who he took. See what I mean? So I think Joe Douglas is like, he's doing his own intel and eval. He trusts his staff. They know what the hell they're looking at, what they're doing. And he doesn't necessarily go for the guy that all the beat writers are saying is the perfect fit. He doesn't give a shit. So to me, he seems like a guy that is trusting their evaluation. And Claypool was the guy that was, remember, the draft, the NFL wanted him to be listed as a tight end in the combine. He said they wanted him to test as a tight end. He said, no, I'm not a tight end. They said, well, with your size, we're projecting that you're going to be a tight end in the NFL. He said, I don't care. I want to test as a wide receiver. I want to do the wide receiver drills. And you know what he did? He blew the doors off the place as a wide receiver. So he was kind of a hidden commodity. Everybody knew he was. But as far as like the hoopla and everything, Mims had so much more press than Claypool as far as a wide receiver. Claypool was looked at as a 3rd, 4th round pick by most. If you go back and look at the mocks, maybe some of the right before the draft mocks, Claypool started to come up, but he was not up there with LaVisca Chenault, CeeDee Lamb, Ruggs, Mims. He wasn't up there with them. Very rarely. So I think Joe Douglas probably had Claypool as his top guy out of the three, but I think he was okay with any of them. That's how that kind of stuff goes. Yeah, I agree, Dell or Dealey. I agree. P-Perine needs to play, dude. Mims needs to play. Yeah, I like this. I like you. You're right up my alley, bud. I'm telling you. You're speaking my language, man. I think, and I'll add to that, I think Yeboah needs to play. Like, this is the year to take the lumps. But I think at this point they're trying to wrap up the season with some victories. And they want it to be with Zach. So they want Zach to have the most established guys. That's what I think. I think at this point, they're still doing the evaluation. They're still doing the progress and development year. But at this point, they want to wrap this year up with some positive vibes, something to build on. That's what I think. Well, Mo Lake, what is it? He doesn't have a bad rap. Same thing with Mims. People were trying to explore, like, why it must be something. Maybe he's lazy. Maybe he's an asshole. He's never had that knock. Never. That's never been said about Mims. The only negative that could be perceived as a negative about Mims, as far as his attitude and everything, was that he's introverted and he's super mellow. So maybe that could be perceived as like not going 100% or something, but it's not. He's just mellow. It's like, yeah, sure. That's just who he is. But I don't know what it could be. P-Perine got injured, and they never gave him a whiff after that. Maybe he's still injured. I don't know. Maybe he's not 100%. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, man. I don't know. Is it, though, Horatio? Is it hard to argue with 38 yards? I think P-Perine could have did that. Especially when Ty Johnson keeps he's a liability in pass coverage. Or pass protection, I mean. He's a liability. He's a fucking complete fail. You know what I mean? And he's dropped the ball. I don't know. I haven't seen. The only one that I've seen that is absolutely irreplaceable is Michael Carter, but he's injured. He's the one, right? He's the best on our team. Is Ty Johnson more electric than P-Perine? Yeah, he is. But he's feast or famine. One play, he's getting 8 extra yards and a touchdown. You know, he's doing all that stuff. Where I don't know if you're going to see P-Perine do that. At the same time, he's also dropping passes. He's also fumbling. He's also getting his quarterback killed because he can't pick up a blitz. You know what I mean? P-Perine does all that exceptionally well. Perfect. He's good in pass protection. He's got nice soft hands. And he's faster than people give him credit for. He hits the hole. He can get around the edge. And he lays the wood at the end of his run. He likes to lower his shoulder and go, oh, yeah, you want to tackle me? Boom, take that. I like him. I do. I like him. And again, I want to make sure you guys understand me, because it's not like this with everybody. But with me, when I root for a guy, that doesn't mean that if the guy in there is producing better, like just producing, that I'm not happy. I'm happy. Austin Walter, I liked what he did, but I didn't see anything that said, that's why that guy's in over P-Perine. Like, I didn't see anything. I saw a nice run. And I'm happy about it. But I don't know why the guy's been on the squad for 2 weeks and he's all of a sudden elevated over a guy who's been here for 2 years. I just don't see it. Me. But when a guy produces, I'm happy. I'm a Jets fan. I'm not a fan of any player more than the Jets. And that includes Mims, P-Perine, Zuniga, all those guys that are my little guys, my little group. You know what I mean? Harvey Lange, right? Who's going to be a free agent next year? You guys want to get him? What's up, Liam? Good to see you, buddy. He says, I'm so with you, GreenBean. So many people are down on P-Perine, but we've barely seen him play. You know, I just released a video to my Patreon people. And for a little while, for a few minutes, it got released to everybody, but I took it off specifically for my Patreon people. So a few of you have seen it. But I broke down P-Perine's entire 2020 season. I show you every single run. And I back it up and I show you where the blocks were and all kinds of stuff. So if you support me on Patreon, you can see that. For $5, you'll get the video. $5 a month. But we $5, $10, and $20. So if, you get all kinds of specific content. I'm just now ramping it up. Braden will tell you, but I'm just now ramping it up to do more. But I released it today to my Patreon subscribers, and I'll eventually later this week maybe release it to everybody else. But it's like, when you look at what he's produced, like, is it going to blow your doors off? No. And if people just look at the end result, 3.3 yard average and all that, it's like, the guy's nothing. But when you look at what's really going on, if you watch his tape, it's completely different than people are thinking. He's an effective running back. And he's the kind of guy, he's 24 years old, I think he is. Like, why isn't he playing? Why is Austin Walter? Because Salah's comfortable with him because he knows him. That's all it is. Now, if Austin Walter ends up being our Mostert, like they did over there, and I'm good. Believe me, I don't give a shit. As long as the guy on the field is effective. And Austin Walter played well, so I'm happy for him. But again, I don't understand why he leapfrogged P-Perine. That hole on the left side in the B gap, that I think it might even, I don't know if it was a touchdown or not. If you look at that run, any running back on our team would have made that run. That's my thought. I don't know why anybody's down on P-Perine. I don't get it. So hopefully you guys, if you support me on Patreon, you'll get the video and numerous videos like it. I make specific content for Patreon people and early access to other videos and things. That link is in the description of the video too, if you're interested. And I appreciate that. But that said, like, take a look at P-Perine's tape. It's not what you think. If you're somebody who's just kind of like listening to the press and everything, and you haven't really looked, and you have an opinion, you're going to be surprised, at least a little bit, when you see his speed around the edge, you see his elusiveness, you see how many times his first contact was 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and what he did to get the 3-4 yards. Like, you'll see it. You're not going to say, wow, oh my God, he's the best. And you're not going to say that. But you're definitely going to come away going, that's not what I thought he was. Unless you're an asshole and you're looking to hate him and everything. Then you're going to see what you want to see. You know what I mean? Jets Blues, what's up, buddy? He says, GreenBean, I think you hit the nail on the head. The one issue I have with Salah is it seems it is very easy to get in his doghouse, but very hard to get out. Yeah. And look, and maybe we have a misconception. Maybe we're seeing it wrong. Like we can't pretend to know Salah yet, right? But it does seem like that to me too. Like, it seems like guys like Greg Van Roten are given so much rope. Guys like Corey Davis are given so much rope, dropping passes constantly. 2 picks directly because he dropped the ball or tipped it or whatever it is, through his hands. Never an issue. Denzel Mims gets one little chance, drops him, and he's gone. Now, granted, there's COVID and everything else, but the fact that he had to wait 6 weeks to get that chance doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what it is. And again, I can make up ideas, but it's weird. And maybe there's all a plan. Maybe next year, P-Perine and Mims, they just want them to take the year and develop, and maybe they're doing long game. I don't know. But to me, it just looks like a misallocation of resources. I think Mims is the best receiver on our team. Maybe Elijah Moore. But Corey Davis, Keelan Cole, Mims is a better receiver, in my opinion. But here I am on YouTube at 11:36 p.m. at night with you. It's like David Gerard said, and Minka went on, and here I am, right? Let's see. I got to catch up. Mims for Andre Dillard this offseason. No, Friggle D. You know, we had such a good day, Friggle D. We were agreeing on some stuff earlier. What are you doing? That would be great, Mark. I'm not in New Jersey though. So you guys would have to do it without me. I'll tell you, when I come back to New York, New Jersey next year, I'll probably be back. It's going to be at least a year that I won't be back there. But when I come back, I'm going to hook up with Gotham City and Sac Exchange, and we're going to do Coney Island meet up at the Cyclone Part 2. We did it last year. It was fucking great. Liam was there. It was a small group of us, but it was such a good day. We rode roller coasters together. We did Jets chants from the top of the Cyclone. We went into the Thunderbolt coaster and did Jets chants over there. We went to Nathan's and had hot dogs. Then we ended the day at L&B Spumoni Gardens and had the best Brooklyn pizza. It was fantastic. And when I come back, we're going to do that again, Mark. So I'm going to let everybody know. Okay? You guys can all come this time. Matter of fact, let me show you real quick. You guys got a second? Let me show you here. So real quick, this is a clip, Mark, and everybody else. I'll show you. This is just a clip of the day at Coney Island. So I'll show you real quick. Jay! Oh, there. Oh, shit, I had it. Okay, hold on. J-E-T-S! Jets! Woo! Could you guys see that? Did that work? It was like frozen and shit over here. But I saw it on my other thing and it looked like it was playing. Tell me if you guys could see that. So, all right, I got a couple super chats. If I'm missing them, I apologize. I'm trying. Okay, there's Adams. Hold on. Here we go. I want to get to your super chats. Jets New York 101 $4.99. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the super chat. He says, from next year out, the game speed will be the same for his whole career. Year one for Zach is huge. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, clearly you can see that the game's moving fast for him, right? That play to Griffin in the end zone is a great example of it. When the pocket was forming, and he bailed after 1 second. The pocket was there. He does not trust his offensive line. Doesn't trust them. So he's thinking, they're going to hurt me. They're going to get me. So I need to get the hell out of here so I can settle it down out there in space. Then I can see who's coming. He doesn't trust it in there. So it's happening fast. You know? Muted myself. Did I? Yeah. So he doesn't trust it. So it's moving fast. And I think this year, it's so important, these last 6 games, that the O-line can protect him and that he can feel comfortable and the game can start to slow down. And that comes with good reps. The line has to protect him. Like you see the beginning of the game last week, man. Dude, they were blitzing. They were sending 6 and 7 guys because they know if this guy gets rattled, he's incapable of doing anything. So they did it. Now, thankfully, the offensive line started to handle it, and he started to settle it down. But that first part of the game, they were coming. They were coming, man. It was one play I watched. They sent 7. 7. And that's cover 0, right? And that's what we're talking about. In the beginning of the game, he was not able to beat it. He was getting swallowed up, and he's thinking, What's going on? You know? But I think this year is huge. And this is the learning year, man. This is it. And don't forget, like a good example, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen this way, but a good example. If Jets fans sat through Josh Allen's first year, we would be calling him a bust. Even year 2, which was better. But don't forget, even like when you look at Josh Allen's stats, they look pretty good his year 2, but it was riddled with fumbles and just stupid play. Like he was erratic and all over the place. But his rookie year was a train wreck. And Jets fans would have said, he's a fucking bust. I hate this quarterback. I remember I was laughing at Buffalo fans. Look at this guy you took. He's a scrub. So it's like, we got to let the process, like Salah said the other week, Jets fans are not used to seeing it done this way. We have chosen the hard way. We have chosen the long route. Jets fans are used to the quick, splashy fix. That's what we are used to. Look at just our response to Joe Douglas's free agency. He's not spending any money. What the fuck? He's a cheapskate. We've already done this for 20 years. Why do we want to see it again? Because it's what we're used to. The devil you know. He said, I'm not doing that. I'm signing a couple free agents, Carl Lawson, Corey Davis, and I'm signing a series of 1-year contracts because I wasn't able to draft those guys yet. I wasn't able to draft and develop those guys yet. So I need players. So I'm going to bring in guys that might be on the end, might be on the downswing. I'm going to give them a 1-year contract, see how they work. If they work, great. I'll sign them. If they don't, I'm not guaranteed. I'm not locked in. They get to go. They apply to our comp pick formula, and I fill the hole again. Because they're not my foundation pieces. You got to give it time. And Zach is part of that. It's a good one, Jets New York 101. Oh, okay. David Jordan. I'm going to get to the other super chat too. David says, and my Anthony Ferkser story, my final story, he was a senior and I got moved up to varsity. And he said, wow, you're really small, and put his 2 hands around my entire thigh. That's crazy. I was a freshman when Ferk was a senior. So he took his 2 hands and put it around your waist. That's hilarious, man. Right? Like, dude, when you look at these guys, like they're a different animal than most of us. Now, is there a lot of growth hormones and steroids and all kinds of shit? Probably. And there was for many years. You know that. These guys were steroided out. Look at Gastineau was known. I mean, he was one of dozens. But, even in addition to that, like you look at Mekhi Becton, the guy's 6'7", 365 pounds. Dude, when I'm heavy, I'm 230. Heavy. My goal weight is like 210. That's what I'm looking for. 205. And I'm on 5'11 and a half. You know what I mean? Dude, these guys are monsters. Their heads are like this big. They're a whole different breed of people. Oh, it's crazy. Let me see here. Wow. So many comments. You guys are awesome, man. I wish I could get to every comment. It's virtually impossible. And I apologize. There's a piece of me that really wants to, I want to get to everything, but I can't do it. I talk too much. Let's see. Friggle D. Thank you, Friggle D. I appreciate the super chat. He says, that's why I think they won't go as D heavy in this year's draft. I think they like to cultivate D later on. Quality offense is harder to get late. That is an interesting outlook. Because the way that a lot of us, myself included, are thinking is that we have shown we have leaned heavily toward the offense in the first two drafts, especially, with our premium picks. First year, first two picks, first and second round, offense. The next year, first four picks, two firsts, a second, and two firsts, a second, and a third. No, and a fourth, because we traded our thirds. Our first four picks, offense. That's 6 premium picks on offense. Right? So you think we have to go defense, and our defense is giving up 54, 45, 45, 30, 24. So they need some help. So people like myself, I'm thinking this has to be the year for D. It makes sense. It makes sense to do it. But that's a good point. Defensive guys you might be able to get later, like Michael Carter II, right? Like Bryce Hall. You might be able to get those guys later. Javelin Guidry, Bryce Huff. Offensive guys, skill guys are tougher to get later. Now, offensive linemen you can. That's why I struggle to think we're going to use another first on an offensive lineman. I'm not against it per se. I struggle to think that's real. When you can get very, very good offensive linemen in the second, third, and fourth. There's going to be fantastic. Look how many guys. Trey Smith was a 6th this year. Creed Humphrey was a late second. I think it was a 3rd, right? So, but that's interesting. So here's what I think, Friggledy. I think we're going to see this. I think we're going to see our first 2 picks this year, our 2 first, if there's no trades, even if there's a trade, but just let's look at it, no trades. I think we're going to see 2 defensive players in the first. That's what I think. Now, the second round is a different story. I think we'll see offense. Don't forget, the second round is premium. That's the players that are either right outside the premium bubble or premium guys that slipped just because it happens every single year. Elijah Moore was ours this year. DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas. It happens every year, man. Fantastic guys slip just because there's only 32 picks. Every team gets 1, 2 picks, and they have to do a need or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Guys, great players. Like the Jets said, Elijah Moore was 16 on their board, on their entire board. We got him at 34. That's a steal, dude. That's a steal. So I think we'll see offense in the second, especially because here's the thing, Friggledy, is that the real strength of the draft is defense too, on the top side. The other positions are deeper, like interior offensive line it has a strong top, but it's deeper. Tight end is deep this year, where edge is top heavy. Linebackers are top heavy. Safety is deep with somebody generational at the top. This is a very deep safety class. So I think you're getting, like Joe, a good GM factors that in. It's like, look, last year a lot of us, myself included, wanted them to grab a tight end. We ended up getting Kenny Yeboah as an undrafted free agent. That's great. But I wanted a 3rd round tight end. You know what I mean? I wanted Freiermuth in the second. That's who I wanted. But maybe, just maybe, Joe Douglas didn't do that. Not only because he needed other positions, but he knew that this next year, safety and tight end is a strength of the class. Interior offensive line is a strength of this class. So he took the best offensive lineman in last year's draft because he knew after AVT, there's a drop-off, and I'm not really interested because I need other positions. I'll wait till next year because it's deeper. And I'm just speaking hypothetically. But that's the type of stuff that good GMs factor in. I'm not going to take a say. That's why I'm going to franchise Marcus May. I'll sign LaMarcus Joyner for a year. I have Ashton Davis. I used a 3rd-round pick on him last year. So I got safety covered. I could use another one, but next year's class is strong, deep. That's where I'm going to get my safety. I'll hold the fort now, and I'll get a linebacker. I'll get 2 linebackers instead of another safety, because next year the safeties are going to be longer, are going to be deeper. Fucking eyes. See what I mean? And that's the thing. So this year, linebackers top heavy. There's like 5, 6 that are considered like starters right off the bat. See what I mean? Thank you, Jeremy. Hold on. Oh, this fucking thing. Bear with me, my friends. I got so much stuff going on I don't know how to do. Okay. So anyway, that's part of it. That's part of the mix. See what I mean? And that's what good GMs do. It's not about right now. Like Mike Mckagan, he already had a strong defensive line. He already used a first in recent memory, a top 6 first on Leo. He has the 3rd overall pick. He doesn't have edge. The strength of the team is interior defensive line. And what does he do? Because Quinnen is called a great player, he drafts another defensive tackle. Now, I love Quinn. I'm happy to have him now. But the way we were building the team, Sam Darnold needed an offensive lineman. Sam Darnold needed a weapon. And if there was no premium guys like Jonah Williams or whoever it was, then trade back. Washington wanted to come up and get Dwayne Haskins. They never thought he was going to slip to them. Never. He takes Quinn Williams because he has no imagination. He can't think about anything but he's the best player right now. I need to take him. When he drafted Leo, he shouldn't have drafted Leo. We had Wilkerson, Snacks Harrison, and Sheldon Richardson on our defensive line. Why are you using the 6th overall pick? Remember, they couldn't even play them all. They had to rotate. That's how many defensive linemen we had. Why is that what you're doing? Get a position of need. And not even of need, just something that you need a starter. Like, so it makes no sense. But he's the best available player. I'm not into that, man. BPA for BPA's sake rubs me the wrong way. And you need a GM that thinks and knows about the next 3 years. What's going on? Where's the salary cap? All that shit. Mckagan didn't do any of that. None. It was terrible. It was terrible. I'm still not over it. Yeah, man. That's a big boy super chat. Thank you, Skintas Scunny. I appreciate that, man. He says, we can't give up on Zach yet. Need to let the lad grow. Dude, I couldn't have said it better. And like I said, man, like, is it what we hoped? No. Like my friend Jeremy Cravat said, he was predicting Zach Wilson. 4,600 yards. You know, I forget how many touchdowns, 35 touchdowns. I wasn't thinking that, but I was like, yeah, it'd be great. Everybody, we were talking about him potentially. He was the odds-on favorite with Trevor Lawrence to be Rookie of the Year. Now we're down to earth. Like the Jets have had one 4,000-yard quarterback in our history. That's Joe Namath. In a 14-game season, no less. So it was better than even it sounds. But we've only had one in our entire history. To think that a guy's going to come in and just do it, it's not like that here. It's like we were talking about Derek Carr, and Twitter. People are like that. Somebody called, I think, Leger Doozable said that a good comp and ceiling for Zach Wilson is David Carr. Or Derek Carr. And people ate him up. He's so much better, blah, blah, blah. He's got so much more potential. It's like, dude, Derek Carr is very good. He throws for 4,000 yards no matter his situation almost every year. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me give you his just that alone, just his yards per season. Now, don't forget, he's had terrible offensive lines, terrible. They've shuffled it around every single year. Gruden's first year, he got rid of Amari Cooper, the guy that they drafted with him. They wanted him to succeed. To build a rapport together. They had that. Do I keep freezing on you guys? Do I keep freezing? Oh, that sucks. All right, let me give you where is it? Come on, man. Where is the yards? Oh, that's game. All right, hold on. Here we go. So we'll just do like the last five. I'll do the whole thing. So his rookie year, he came out. His rookie year, he throws for 3,270 yards. The next year, his sophomore year, he throws for 3,987 yards. So not 4,000, but pretty close. The next year, he throws for 3,937 yards. Was I muted that whole time? Hold on. Mute. Damn it, Mike. No sound. You guys suck. I know it's not your fault. So Skink, I was telling you stuff. But anyway, I was basically saying I read Derek Carr. I think that site freaked out my computer. Everything was freezing while I was doing that. So, yeah, Skink, the potential is there. He clearly has talent. We need to make sure that all of our resources go into developing. So my system is like crap. It's like all over the place. I'm getting all these crazy alerts and weird stuff. Let me shut down. Everything's pretty much shut down, but what is this? Get out of here. Everything's like, it's weird, guys. Everything's open. Is one of you guys sending me a virus or something? But I agree, Skink, and I thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate that. That was a big one. Yeah, I don't know what Mark says, Skink. He says you have to be an Englishman. Well, he said lad. That would be the first thing. But I don't know, what does skink and scunny mean? What does that mean? Let me out. Right, Cadoza. That's the thing. Pass rushers. What the fuck is happening? Everything's going haywire all of a sudden. So you can technically find them, right? You get lucky, and you can find rotational guys. But those elite pass rusher guys, when you have them up top and you're there and you need one, you take them. That's what you do. Elite pass rushers are up top. That's where they are. Again, not that you can't, not that it doesn't happen. It does. But the chances are slim. Sorry about the mutant. We were trying to warn you. You know what happened, Larry? I went to a different page. So I was just using my audio, and I was, I trusted the system. And I was just reading. I know, right, Larry? It's not you. But I was just I was just trusting my system. That's what happens. The moment I trusted it, lets me down, bro. So Yoshi, what's up? Oh, you saw my faces and stuff? Yeah, I'm like, all that. I can read lips. He was saying Mims and P-Perine should be cut. That's funny, Horatio. Yeah. All right. Hopefully I'm back. RV life. There you go, Jets 830. That's what it is. I got all these little hot spots and I got all kinds of stuff floating around. Got all these hot spots and all kinds of stuff. I figured out I got my Wii boost. I think we're doing okay, though. I think I look okay. I'm a little spotty, a little freezy, but I don't think I've been too bad. Hopefully that's accurate. So Jets Blues says this will prove to be a bad quarterback year. All the quarterback hype for the 2020 NCAA football, but last year was so weak due to COVID, many overachieved. 5 quarterbacks in the first round, maybe 2 deserved that honor. I get what you're saying. I think that last year's quarterback class was interesting. T-Law and Fields were exceptional talents. Trey Lance, while raw, is another exceptional talent. Zach flew up the boards late. And it made me nervous, honestly. But he's clearly a very talented kid. The problem is, guys, he played at BYU. He had a 30-year-old offensive line. You know what I mean? And he had the most time out of any of the quarterback prospects. Any of the first-round quarterback prospects, Zach Wilson had the most time in the pocket and the least pressure of all of them. He came to the NFL, 15 sacks in 3 weeks. It's going to be a learning curve. Is the talent there? Yes. Is the coaching there? For a while, I questioned it, but I'm starting to feel like yes. LaFleur in the booth, he looks good. Kavanaugh running the sideline, I like it. Bringing on his quarterback coach, good stuff. I like it all. The vet quarterbacks are there. Everything's there. So I'm starting to feel good about it. The talent's there, but anybody who really thought Zach Wilson was going to come from BYU and that bubble that he lived in over there with that offensive line, he was never under pressure. And when he was, he didn't look great. And I talked about it all offseason. People said I was a hater and everything else. Anybody who thought that was going to be smooth, they were dreaming, hoping. I get that too. I'm a hoper. I'm a positive guy. That's right, David. We don't need to tank, though, because the Seahawks are doing it. There you go. There you go, buddy. I like that. GreenBean, you can cut the quality down to 480 from 780. I'll try that. I did that once, man, and it didn't work for me. But at the time, there were other issues too. I'll try that one again next time. I'll try it for Thursday and see how it goes. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me, man. Because I have as good of internet as I can have. I have the best. The best. And I have options too. I have T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. I have everything. I have something called the Wi-Fi Ranger, which boosts my signal and creates my own network. I have the Wii Boost, which takes my cellular signal and pumps it up sometimes 2 full bars, at least 1, always. So I have all these things going. I'm using cellular and a hotspot, squeezing it in. But yeah, so I need to find other tools like that. It's just sometimes I only have what I have. I only what can reach me. You know what I mean? So anyway, and the kicking, yeah, on the kicking situation. So that's what we'll wrap it up with. I don't know what Joe Douglas is doing. Like you guys know, I'm a supporter. I like 8 out of every 10 moves he makes. I really like. I think they're strong. I get it. I see the logic and all that. But there are a few that I'm like, The kicker situation, I seriously don't know what the hell he's doing. I just don't know. And I don't like it. If it was me, I would already have Bass, Borregales, somebody in here. I would. Maybe we take Dicker the kicker this year. Maybe we do that. If we take Cade York or something with our final pick, we only have up to the 5th round this year. Maybe we trade back, get some 6th, maybe some 7th, and we use a 6th on Cade York. I'm happy. Or Burkick, one of those guys. I'm fine. Yeah, it's a good point, Deli. So he says Fields and Trevor Lawrence played stiffer competition by leaps and bounds. That's why, again, I just think that I'm full support of Zach Wilson. I think he's got the goods, but I knew that more than likely, while I hoped, like me and Larry Romano were hopers, even while I hoped, and I saw there's lots of talent and all this stuff, I had hope, but I knew in my heart, and I talked about it all offseason, this is more than likely going to be a long road with this kid. It's more than likely. He looked great in preseason. That was hope. That was, that gave us some hope too. That was nice. But again, you're playing vanilla. Nobody's really trying to kill him, all those kinds of things. First game, it was all out the window. No, I didn't think we'd be that bad. But I said, this whole year, all I want to see is progress from this guy. That's it. 4,000 yards, fantastic. But I ain't hoping 3,000. 3,000. That's what we're hoping for. Let me see what Zach has. Let me see. Zach Wilson has 1,300 yards. 1,300. His best game was the Titans, 297. He's had 3 200-yard games. The Panthers, he threw for 258. Am I on mute or anything? Okay, good. Let me make sure I'm not on mute. Okay. All right. He had 258 against the Panthers. He had 210 versus the Patriots with his 4 interceptions. He had 160 in the shutout versus the Broncos and 2 more picks. He threw for 297 against the Titans, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Threw for 192 against the Falcons, 51 yards. Oh, that's right. He was hurt. I was like, what is that? All right. He threw for 51 yards in the Patriots and came back last week for $145. No. I mean, you can say the Titans game is 300, but it's not. It is, but it's not. See what I mean? So I think we just have to give him some time, just have to give him time and let him develop the rapport again. Like that Ty Johnson interception last week, 100%, because they're not telepathic yet. They don't know each other. They don't know each other's tendencies. He thought he was there for the pass. Zach was 1 foot away from the line of scrimmage, and he thought he was going to run, so he turned around to protect him. Got to give it to him. At that second, the exact same second, Zach Wilson was like, okay, I'm at the line of scrimmage. I better get it to this guy because he's 4 yards ahead of me, and he's got the moves. So let me get him. Who's giving up on him? Are you not listening? Are you talking to somebody else? I mean, shit, I spent an hour tonight telling you to support him. Jets forever. I think you're talking to somebody else. I don't think you're talking to me. You know what I mean? How could you possibly? It's funny, though. People misread all the time. I've had people tell me, like, I'm talking like this. People will write me and say, I watched your show. And they tell me that they heard the exact opposite of what I was saying. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. Deli's giving up on him. Thank you, Larry. Larry, you've been helping me out tonight, buddy. I appreciate it. They did, Rusty. Remember Aikman's first year, 1-15? They said that he sucked. Never going to cut it. I like Fields, though. AC's talking about Fields not better than anyone. I mean, maybe Delhi's talking about it. But let me tell you this. I like Justin Fields, and I think he's got boatloads of talent. And while a lot of the Jets fan base got really high on Zach, they wanted Zach at all costs. Like, that's where it was. You guys know. You remember. I would have been just as happy with Justin Fields as Zach Wilson. Just as happy. As long as I just wanted whatever this new regime thinks, and Joe Douglas and Salah and LaFleur, whatever they think is the best guy to run their system, take him. Just take that guy. And if it was Kyle Trask, take him. If it was Kellen Mond, just take him. That's where I was. Pick your guy, and let's get this thing started. Get rid of Sam. With all due respect to Sam, I supported Sam entirely until maybe the third game of his third year. I was like, this is real. He sucks. He's damaged goods. And I still think, and I maintain, Sam Darnold should have been given a year after our last 3 years. They traded for him, and they put him right back in the starting lineup. I maintain Sam Darnold needed a year to decompress, man, to undo all the damage of Adam Gase and Jeremy Bates. Don't forget, Sam Darnold never even had a quarterback coach in his whole career before he went to Carolina. Never. No, Jeremy Bates didn't hire one, and Adam Gase didn't hire one. How? We had two regimes that thought quarterback coach not important for the number 3 overall pick. I don't get it, but that's his experience. And we have a GM who doesn't value the offensive line. 2 offensive linemen in 5 years of drafting. Conversely, he took 5 defensive tackles. 2 of them were top 10 picks. 1 3rd overall, 1 6th overall. It's crazy. So Sam Darnold needed a year, dude. At minimum, 8 games. Let him come into training camp. Let him go into the preseason. Let him sit for 8 games and see where he is. Does he have happy feet back there in practice? All that stuff. Settle him down. Nope. They threw him right to the Wolves. He looked good for 3 games, and not even really that good. He was dumping it off to McCaffrey. He had a couple nice plays, a couple to Robbie, a couple to Terrace Marshall, DJ, few. But the lion's share of their game was McCaffrey, Chuba Hubbard. That's what it was. Short, quick stuff. Smartly. Yeah, I know now, Jeremy. Am I still live? Oh, there they are. I was going to say the comments like fell off a cliff, but there they are. So LaFleur is keeping Zach Wilson from the bench, actually. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Jets first. So Zach has to have 45-plus pass attempts a game. That is who he is. Let him carve up the defense. Ooh, that makes me nervous. I think Zach Wilson should have 30 at max. This offense is predicated on the running game. And we're not doing well in the running game. Even though we've had our games, we don't even have 100-yard games, man. This offense is built to spread the field out, to make defensive players run horizontally, run east to west. That's what you want to make them do. You want to make them run 8 yards to stop a 2-yard run. That's what you want. Right? And we're just not able to do that. I don't know why. It's supposed to be 50-50 at worst. It's a running offense. So I don't know. But all right, guys. So look, let me remind you about the contest. If you haven't subbed to this channel, now's the best time. Because now you can win stuff. You can win the Manscaped stuff. You can win the T-shirts and the stickers. All you got to do is sub here and sub to my other channel, Full Time Coaster Tour. And that's that. You're in. you're in. As soon as I get to 5,000, which is happening, in the last 4 weeks, I got 380, 390. So we're there. I got to have a push. So if you haven't subscribed, now is the time. If you're looking for sports memorabilia, sportsmemorabilia.com. The link is the first thing in my description. Takes you right to the Jets page. All purchases benefit the channel. If you spend over $50, you get free shipping. And dude, you got to see this stuff. There's a helmet there that the whole Sack Exchange signed. They have a few of them. Amazing. Curtis Martin, Danian Tomlinson, Joe Namath, you name it. It's all in there. But they have everything. It's not just Jet stuff. So if you're looking for stuff, it's holiday season, man. What's better for sports fans than sports memorabilia? Sportsmemorabilia.com. Click on the link right in the description. That link takes you to my area. So anything you buy in there benefits the channel. And what else I got to tell you? And Patreon. Like I said, I released my LaMichael P-Perine video today to Patreon only after I mistakenly released it, but it's Patreon content. I make Patreon exclusive content. We do the Discord stuff on Wednesday nights. We're going to be having mocks, all kinds of fun shit that's just available to the Patreon people. So there's extra stuff, and you get to support the channel. The way we talk about it, it's called value for value. If you think I add any value to your life, if this channel adds any value, maybe you'll give me a tip in return. You know, whatever value you think I provide you, you provide it to me, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever it is. And that is greatly appreciated. It enables me to continue to do it. So my hope is that I can continue to do this ad infinitum. Okay? That's my hope. But you guys are awesome. And this has been great. You guys are the best chat. I mean, there is probably 1,000 comments in there, 500, 600, 10 million comments. It's incredible what you guys do. Hope I didn't miss any super chats. Let me see. Last one. Nope, that was Skint and Scunny. But honestly, you guys are the shit. I love hanging out with you. We got the Thursday Thick of It coming up on Thursday night. Frankie from Flatbush will be with me. Jeremy, Watts UK 99, the whole crew will be here for Thursday Thick of It. And don't forget, the Greenbeanjetsfan pod is released now. It goes into what this win actually means for our New York Jets. It's right here on this channel. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, like I said. I appreciate it, guys. With all that said, you guys have a great night. Thanks, Liam. You are the best. Long live Green Bean indeed. That's a key. That's key, buddy. That's key. I'm working on that one. And thanks, Twisted Mind. I appreciate you guys. And we'll see you. We'll see you next time. I'll play you with a little clip here. I'll throw the Coney Island thing again, huh? Where'd it go? In case it didn't play before. Oh my God, I'm the worst. Now I can't find it. I wanted it to be smooth. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks again. J-E-T-S, Jets. Woo! Oh, that wasn't working. So, all right, guys, I'll just do this then. You guys have a great night. I love you. Take care.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
He's gonna beat you today. I see some ass on him. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is a weird kid. Worse than that side.
Pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.